Hello everyone, it is Sunday, it is time for me to service you. You are here with your Aunty Nelly for Sunday service. Dear Aunty Nelly, anonymous please, let me know in the comments where you're watching me from. Give me that like, give me that love and give me that share. Any advice to give on today's show is purely for entertainment purposes. How are we all? Hasn't it been a while? Hello there, Tracy Smith. Hello there, Vicky Campbell. Good afternoon, good morning and good evening, wherever you're watching me from. And hello to everybody who'll be watching this on #replay. Jane Duffy is watching. Good afternoon, beautiful lady, says Donna Marie. Good afternoon, Donna. Natalie Duffy says, hi, gorgeous lady. It is so good to be back with you doing Sunday service. And it is so good that I've actually posted some reviews on the page this week. So if you haven't seen any of my reviews that I posted, please scroll down after Sunday service and watch this week's reviews, because there's two in the bag for you. They're there. They're on Facebook for you to watch for your viewing pleasure. Hello, Dee McCrystal. Good afternoon to you. So what are you all doing this glorious day? I will not take up too much of your time. Natasha is in West London. My little girl's in East London, and apparently the weather is glorious. I am staying cool. There's no chance of anything else today because we have no sunshine here in Haslingden, but it is warm weather. It is warm weather. I did get the breast nest on, and then I decided to take it off. I thought, absolutely not, no, not today. So hello everybody and thank you for joining me. And Katie says she's watching in Lincolnshire. I always love you putting in the comments where you're watching me from, because it blows my mind. One lady's just said I'm watching from Israel, and it blows my mind at the power of social media. So yes, I'm back with the reviews, I'm back with Sunday services, I am back with Nighttime with Nelly. So we're back on it, we've ripped the band-aid off, and we're back doing what we do and what we love. So yeah, go and watch them reviews that I've posted this week, and let me know what you think. Please keep writing in for Sunday service and Nighttime with Nelly and your product review requests. So there we go. Shall we get going with the very first Sunday service of today's show? As I did say, any advice I give is purely for entertainment purposes. If anybody jumps on and starts commenting with prize, gift, giveaway, you're a winner, inbox me, it's a scam, don't fall for it. Jamie Hindle in County Durham, hello. And it's bloody hot in Essex. It's all right here. I'm not going to say it's hot. However, it's much more comfortable without a brassiere on. Dear Aunty Nelly, let's go. I met a man online who I have fallen in love with. We have always got on so well and chatted every single day. Then I discovered he was married. So I confronted him, and he has completely cut me off. I'm so heartbroken and can't stop crying. He won't respond to any of my emails I send, and I don't know what else to do, as I don't know where he lives and I've never had a phone number for him. I'm devastated. Okay, my darling anonymous flower pot. You started talking to a man online, he never actually let you in his life because you don't know where he lives, you don't have his phone number, you don't know anything about his daily whereabouts. He wanted to keep that private because you were kind of a fantasy, not reality. You're not part of his real world, that's why you don't know anything about it. You found out he was married, you've confronted him, and he's fucking run. He's run away. Let him run. Keep letting him go. I'd give him the fucking trainers and say, off your foot, flower. What do you want to contact him for? What is it that you're trying to achieve by keep sending emails, maybe having his phone number, maybe knowing his whereabouts? What you're going to get from it? He's shown his true colours. You found out he were married. The romance is over. Off he's fucked. What you've got to do now is lick your wounds and take the lessons from it. Brilliant that you found out that he were married sooner rather than later. Brilliant that you've confronted him. But did you really think that he was going to say, yeah, you've caught me out, I'm not happy in my marriage, I'm going to leave my wife for you? That barely ever happens, and why would you want them to? Why would you want somebody to choose you? You should have always been the first choice, right from the beginning. You ain't no side dish. You are the starter, the appetizer, the main course, and the fucking dessert, sweetheart. Know your own worth, lick your wounds, pick yourself up and crack on. When we start meeting people online and we ask them questions and we're not sure of what they're actually answering, or they're a little bit vague about certain things you're asking, it's usually a massive red flag. Put the red flag down and walk away. Let him keep running. You're so much better without him, says Doreen. Yeah, she is. Dear Aunty Nelly, I've been married for 26 years. My husband and I are like chalk and cheese. We are totally opposite in so many things. I've tried so many times to bring us closer, but it hasn't worked. I've got an itch. I've stayed because of the children, but they're grown up now. I now have no interest in doing anything with him. I just want to live on my own, but don't know where to begin. Thanks. I think a lot of people, certainly my age and a little bit older, I'm 48 now, they kind of become habitual to that life. They made that, yes I do you, till death do us part, whatever. Then the children come along, and before they know it, the children have grown, they've left home, and they're not quite sure where that leaves them. And they look around and they say, this isn't serving me, it's not serving my emotional needs. Over the years, we've both changed as individual people. We both have different interests. What do we do now? You do not have to stay with anybody ever that is not serving a purpose. Before this gets bitter, before the love turns to hate, before you think you're stuck in a life that's not worth living, bit dramatic, but here I am, I'm here for it. Have that conversation with him and tell him, look, we're like chalk and cheese. The kids have grown up, they've left home. I've tried to do several things to bring us back together as a couple, because the way that you couple when your kids have grown up and left home in a marriage are completely different to how you were coupling when the kids were still at home. And because of age and maturity, it's different to before the kids came along in the first place. So have that conversation. I really would open communication with your husband and make him well aware that, do you know what? I feel like I'm in a marriage on my own. So I've had to think about it, and I actually would like to be on my own. Can we not claw this back? I've made that decision, and I'm going to start taking the steps to do that. So if it's your decision and you feel comfortable enough, start looking for little properties for yourself, a one-bedroom little flat, a little bungalow, and you start living the rest of your life happy. Because there's nothing worse than being in a relationship and feeling lonely and feeling like you're doing everything on your own anyway. So have that conversation. Communication here is key. Let him know at every point that just because you've been married for 26 years doesn't mean to say that it's set in stone forever. Dear Aunty Nelly, I feel like I'm failing my children. I had them very young. I don't have a partner and still live with my parents. They don't see their dad, but my mum is always sticking her nose in when it's not needed. My son is sensitive and throws daily tantrums, but my little girl doesn't, and I worry sometimes she gets left behind. I always make sure I have one-to-one time with them every day, but I just don't seem to be able to help them be happy or content. Please help. Do you know, you don't think your children are happy and content because you're not feeling happy and content. It's contagious, is that feeling. But also, you think you're failing as a parent. Welcome to parenting. Welcome to parenting. No matter how old we are when we have children, I was 21 when I had Olivia, we will always feel like we are failing, like we've done something wrong, like we could have done better, like we should have done better, we should have done this, we should have done that, we wish this, we wish that. We are our own worst critics as parents. There is no parent out there that will ever want to give themselves a pat on the back and say, I'm doing a fucking good job. So I will be the first person to pat you on the back and say, the fact that you're worried about your children and your care for them is a massive pat on the back, because it means that you're parenting the right way. And we all fuck up and we all get it wrong, and it doesn't come with a fucking manual, and we don't know what tools we've got in our toolbox till we have to open it up and see what we can do. Everybody parents differently, but you think your children are not happy and content. I'm sure to God they are. You're in a situation where you're living at mum's, you're your mum's child, these are your children. She maybe, you think, is sticking a nose in, but maybe she's trying to assist, and because you think you're already failing, it's just adding to that feeling of, I can't do it right, I'm not doing it right. Don't know what your finances are, you don't say too much, but is there a reason you're having to live with parents? Don't know how young you are. Is there a reason why you can't get yourself a little council house and start parenting on your own with maybe the support of your parents? It's so important to have a support network around us, no matter what age you are as a parent. It's so important to open up to other parents. And I think having people around you other than your mum, even though I wouldn't know what I'd do without my mum, I think it's important to be around people your own age. It's important to be around people who are doing the job you're doing. And the more you have those conversations, you'll realise that, do you know what, it's not just you. It's not just you, it's every single parent, no matter what age and what walk of life. Having time with your children on the one-to-one as well is great, because they've got different personalities, but also have some time to you, because you're assuming that you're doing a bad job, you're assuming that you're failing, you're assuming you're not happy and content, neither is everybody else. Have a little bit of time to you as well. Maybe where mum wants to stick her nose in and help, maybe ask mum to do a little bit of babysitting, so that maybe you can go out and do something for you as a you rather than as a mum, and that'll bring a little bit more happiness. And certainly join one of your local support groups with other people in your situation. But never ever think you're failing as a parent. You don't need to, because that's what we do. We always fail as parents, no matter what. We will never ever think we're a brilliant parent, unless somebody tells you you are. Dear Aunty Nelly, I would like your advice, please. Excuse me. We are selling our home to move into a bigger one. I would like to move from our town and start a new chapter elsewhere. I've been feeling like I need a change for the past 3 years now. The problem is that I feel like I'm being a little bit selfish, as my husband and my 4 children, are very settled in our local village. They have friends, as do I, and the kids are doing well at school. Although I'm not sure my children will make new friends, and neither will my husband, and maybe I won't. Maybe we'll all feel like we shouldn't have left our old home. I'd like to move somewhere that has more to offer for us all, should we move. What I'm getting from that, dear Aunty Nelly, is the letter I. I want to move home. I want a more fun life. I want a bigger house. I want to make new friends. Not a lot of thought has gone into what your husband wants and what your children may want. Only when you've said, well, maybe they won't make new friends. Well, should we move? It's all about you, this. This to me seems it's all about you. And I think even if you move from where you live now into a bigger house, into a different community, I don't think you're very happy with yourself, sweetheart. So I can move you into a fucking gated community with your own butler, and I don't think you'll still be happy. I think I'd put the move on hold, and I'd have those communications with your children, with your partner. What are you going to achieve? What is it going to improve by moving to a different location? What is it going to improve by having a bigger home? You've got 4 children. Yeah, you probably are living somewhere where you're outgrowing the house. I get that. But by saying, I want, when you're actually a mum, a wife, a mother, it's not about it's about what would we achieve by putting this foundation in place for our life moving forward. So When you say you feel a bit selfish, I absolutely sense that you are being selfish. But there'll be a reason why you want all these wants and needs. And I think you need to go back to the drawing board and have a look at what it is that's not serving you now, and make sure that your family is in every single conversation that you're having, not just with yourself, but with each other. Okay, moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, me and my friend of 3 years have decided to have a casual relationship. Okay. We've discussed our likes and dislikes and have made our boundaries very clear. Oh, I think this is a bit of a night time with Nelly, but on we go. My only issue is that he keeps asking me for nudes and video chats, and that is something I'm not comfortable with. All right, okay. I have refused, and he says I'm not spontaneous and need to break out of my shell. I don't know if I should try it and be more assertive or just completely leave the situation. Can you help? Yeah, I can. Any time in life, anybody asks us to do anything that we're not comfortable with, whether that be a partner, a friend, a next door neighbour, an employee, an employer, somebody who you think has status in the community, I couldn't give a flying fuck who they are. If something doesn't sit right with you and your tummy is giving you that this is not right and it feels uncomfortable, then you've got every right to say no. No, I'm not doing it. I don't feel right about it. It's not something I want to do. Because you don't do nudes and naked FaceTimes does not mean to say that you're not spontaneous. It absolutely doesn't. We all have a right to say no with anybody we come into contact with at any time in our life. Everybody does. But if you don't feel comfortable, be assertive, as you said, and tell him no. That's not something I feel comfortable with. And if that's going to ruin our friendship, then you were no friend at all, and move on. Because I can't stress it enough. I don't care whether it's the judge in the working life, but they've asked you to do something in your private life. Nobody, there's no hierarchy to this. No means no. Never ever do anything that you feel will make you feel uncomfortable for somebody else to gratify their needs. Because what are you getting from it? Probably feeling like you feel ashamed or upset or you shouldn't have done it and causing you anxiety. No means no. Just say no, sweetheart. It's not for you. When you get into a relationship with somebody who you feel in love with, who you feel really comfortable with, who you don't feel as vulnerable around, maybe that's something you may do in the future. It may not be. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you and that by doing that it'll bring you out of your shell. Absolutely not. I've just seen somebody said, how do I write in with a problem? Just write into the page, sweetheart. Message the page, Sunday service or night time with Nelly, and it gets picked up there. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm starting a new job in just over a week's time. But I'm worried as I have at least 5 hospital appointments coming up in the first 2 weeks of my new job. One of them would be on my 2nd week. I was urgently referred to 4 different consultants and I am being investigated for suspected cancer. Do I tell my new boss about the appointments and what they're for? Should I offer to take the time as unpaid leave or suggest pushing back my start date? I'm so stressed because I need the job, but I'm also very worried about my health. Thanks. If you can push back your start date and get all your appointments out the way, brilliant. Okay, I think that would be more beneficial to you. As an employer, I absolutely would not hold hospital appointments, investigations against any of my employees. Your health is your absolute priority. Your health, as me as an employer, would be my absolute priority. I have employees and their health is always number 1. Family is number 2. At the end of the day, you're being investigated for things that are not quite right. They don't know what. You've probably got a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights. I'd be saying, I don't think it's the right time for you to start working for me. So why don't we push back your start date? If If you need anything in the meantime, if we can help in any way, don't hesitate to contact me. That's what I would be saying. Now, if you go into the workplace and they hold that against you, if they kind of look at it as like, well, you're supposed to be at work. Nothing is more important than you being investigated for a certain illness, etc. Nothing. And if they do take that stance, are they really a company that you want to be working for? Because it shows to me that they've got no compassion, no empathy, and, well, they just don't give a shit about you. You will just be a number, and that's not a nice place to work. So I wish you the very best with your upcoming investigations. Fingers crossed it's nothing sinister, but thank God that you're being investigated. And certainly tell this prospective employer that you think it would be ideal to maybe push your start date back so that you can go in with a fresh slate. Wishing you all the luck there, sweetheart. Moving on. Dear Nelly, my boyfriend has lied to me many times in our relationship. I keep digging out his phone and finding different truths from things he's told me, and he has been unfaithful to me many times. For example, on a night I was working, he was messaging a girl and asking her to meet up. Oh, do you know what? He always makes excuses for his actions, but he's trying to be better. Apart from all the lies and unfaithfulness, he's really kind of sweet. He is my first boyfriend, and I don't really know what to do. But he's not actually your boyfriend, is he? If he's like unfaithful to you and he's shagging everyone else, he's not really your boyfriend. He's like kind of single, and he sees you coming Dundee really. He thinks you're a bit of a soft touch. The reason he thinks you're a soft touch is because he's lied to you, you've found out about the lie, and then you've kind of let him get away with it. So it's about you. What will you tolerate in a relationship? Will you tolerate unfaithfulness and lies and dishonesty? Because to me, that's what you're saying you'll tolerate. So his behaviour will never change. I couldn't actually give a fuck about his behaviour. He'd be through the door. He wouldn't be my boyfriend. Absolutely not. That's entirely up to him to work on his behaviour, his character, the fact that he can't stay faithful, the fact that he tells lies. That is up to him to answer for that. I'm not there to mother him, and I'm not there as a life coach for him, and neither should you be. So I would definitely get out of this relationship. Like I said, you say he's your boyfriend. Is he really though? No, he's not. And what have you lost? You've lost somebody that cheats on you all the time and never tells you the truth. Who actually is he? You're never going to know. Get rid of him. Move on. Next one in the bag. My ex and I have been together for 3 years. My ex and I were together for 3 years, and we have been split up for 10 months. Recently, on a night out, we ended up back together again. We really do want to make things work, but our family and friends don't like one another due to the breakup being messy. Everyone got involved, and we didn't help by bad-mouthing each other to them. We are now seeing each other again, but in secret, as it will all kick off if we go public. But I don't know whether it's best to move on and find someone else, or to tell our friends and family to like each other again. What do I do? You can't tell people to like each other. You can't say, you've got to be friends with her, you've got to be friends with him, and you've got to like him. What you've done here is you made a rock for your own back. There should be two in a relationship. Absolutely, you need friends, and you need a support group, and you need somebody who you can trust and go to and say, he's been a right fucking dickhead him last night. He did A, B, C, D, E. And that friend to go, oh, for fuck's sake. But not be judgmental and not take sides, and then not be bitter and twisted against that person. Because if, say, he were to cheat and then you took him back, then would that mean you'd lose part of your friends and family because they don't agree with what he did to you? So it's about knowing your audience. It's about keeping your gob shut in certain situations. It's about how much do you tell people. You've made this happen because you've involved every fucker in both your relationship. Sounds to me like it's probably a very immature relationship, But if you want to give it that one last go, because otherwise you'll live with regret, then you fucking crack on. People will either like it or lump it. They don't have to be in your relationship, so they don't have to make friends, do they? They don't have to be on nights out with you. Just you two concentrate on each other. Make a go of it this time, and if you don't, at least you've tried. But be careful in the future who you tell things to, because the minute that you allow people to know certain things is the minute that they've got an opinion. And whether you like it or not, you've brought them into that fold, haven't you? So you've sort of shot yourself in the foot. Can't make people like each other. The fact that they don't like each other and never will doesn't mean to say that you can't have a relationship with your now ex-partner, now kind of partner again. You don't have to be living all cloak and dagger in secret. You're a grown woman. Crack on with your partner. Them that like it won't matter. And them that don't like it, that won't matter. Doesn't fucking matter, does it? Who thinks what, says what. Just pick your audience a little bit wiser in future when you're having relationship problems, okay? Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, my wife is going through a life? No, she's not. What is she going? Oh, life crack, right, okay. My wife is going through a midlife crisis. It's been happening for about 16 months. She's become distant over time and fallen out of love with me. I have been a really good husband and father, but she has now asked for a divorce. I really want to save our marriage, but not sure how I can while she's going through this crisis. Aunty Nelly, do I stand by her or do I accept the divorce? I love her, but I'm not sure how to help her or where to turn. My gut says stand by her and see it through. Everybody goes through them, but there's a small part of me also saying just walk away, and when she realises what she's done, she'll come back. What should I do? Do we all go through midlife crises? What are the symptoms of a midlife crisis? Is it really a thing? Is it not that you've been married for such a long time and maybe she's got fed up and she wants something different in life? Have you grown apart as partners? Rather than keep thinking that her behaviour is because of a midlife crisis, have you actually thought there's something different here, there's something changed? I've been a good husband and father. Does that mean that that's fulfilling her needs now? We all change, we all want different things sometimes, so we either get on the different things bus or we're left at the bus stop. Have that open and honest conversation with her. If she wants a divorce, there's got to be a reason as to why she no longer wants to be in a marriage with you, other than you think she's just having a funny do and it'll soon pass. I think that's a really ignorant way to look at it. When people are crying out for attention or needs or wants or something different, then we've got to look at ourselves and think, am I going to be able to meet these needs ongoing if that's what she wants? And if you're not, you walk away. But don't think for 1 minute that her not wanting to be in a marriage anymore is because she's having a funny do, as you put in your message. You know, midlife crises do happen. Does it mean that a man buys a motorbike in his 50s? Does it mean that a woman shaves all her head off in her 40s? Who fucking knows? But what I'm hearing is your wife's no longer happy and she wants a divorce. No matter what a good father and good husband you've been, it's obviously not something she's happy with now. So the conversation here would be, I think you're having a midlife crisis. No, the conversation would be, I know you want a divorce, I get that. However, you're still my wife, you're still the mother of my children, and I'm really concerned about you. What can I do to help you? Now, I'm not saying I'm helping you because I expect you to fall back in love with me, and, you know, that'd be great, but I'm worried about you as a person. And try and do it that way rather than shunning it off and thinking she's having a funny do. That's what we do. No, it isn't always what we do. There could be something really going on that's medical. There could be something going on psychological. She could be going through maybe anxiety, depression, worry. Unless you have that conversation and you keep brushing it off as midlife crisis, you're never going to get to the actual real reason as to why things have changed. So have that conversation. If we've learned anything today on Sunday service, it's about communication with everybody in your life, not just your partners. Keep communicating with each other. Keep communicating on a daily basis. Ask if people are okay and ask again if they're okay. There's 100 different reasons at the minute that we've all got something not to be okay about. But as long as we know we've got somebody to go to support, you know, and always reach out to your GP, then we're going to be okay. And it's okay to just be okay. And if you're not okay, find a way to try and, you know, help yourself feel a little bit better, because you're not on your own and you've always got Aunty Nelly's inbox open. So that's been today's Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been an absolute pleasure this Sunday to service you. Please scroll down the page and have a look at the reviews that I've done this week, because I am back in the house with product reviews. And if you want any Dear Aunty Nelly's, whether it be nighttime Nelly or Sunday service, then please write into the page. Once again, any advice I've given on today's show has been purely for entertainment purposes. So I hope you've been entertained, because I certainly have. And I'll see you all soon, flower pots. Whatever you do with the rest of your day, enjoy. And I love you all. Thanks for having me back.